Yeah.
Cool.
Season 3, Amenadiel had a bit of a crisis of faith, more in himself than everything. So he carried that through to working with Mom. So where are we seeing Amenadiel in season 3?
In season 3, I think he's trying to hold on to his sense of faith. I think he's trying to take it deeper, to try to understand more why he lost his powers. Now, I think the revelation that he's God's favorite son probably helps. I think it restores his ability to have a stronger faith in himself and his father. But I think he's still in some turmoil. I think he's just chosen the path of optimism and chosen to have more faith and hope this season. And we'll see where that takes him. We'll see if that's successful.
So what else? What's most exciting about this season for you?
I think the most exciting thing is the different pairings that they have. I'm starting off this season. I had 1 or 2 scenes with Amenadiel did with Ella Lopez, and Amy's she's just fantastic to work with. So we had a lot of fun. And they've also repaired Amenadiel with Dr. Linda, and so they really start a very, very real and nice friendship. And so we're going to see what happens to that friendship when our favorite demon comes back after Leslie Ann, after giving birth to her beautiful son. But we're going to see what happens when she comes back and her ex-boyfriend and her best friend are now friends.
Awesome.
And how does she feel about that?
And if you could work with any actor this season, like anyone, who would you bring on the show?
Halle Berry. Real simple, real easy. Halle Berry. Yeah.
How fun is it to have this script where last season left you with so much unknowledgeable what the future is going to hold in this season, to be able to work on that and develop that character into this unforeseen future?
It's great. They don't really tell us a lot, right? We don't really get that much advance notice, so it's just really flying by the seat of your pants. But it's a blessing to work with so many amazing writers. This really is a great writing staff. Our showrunners, Joe and Ildi, not only are they exceptionally talented, but they just happen to be 2 of the nicest people on the planet. So it's a joy, and they're really their doors are always open for us if we have any questions or if we want to make suggestions. So it's a great place to work. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they throw my character this season. I have faith, and I'm just rolling with it, and I'm excited to be back.
There's a lot of kind of irony in Amenadiel, particularly in terms with dealing with Lucifer, and that a lot of the things that he gets mad at Lucifer for doing, he kind of ends up doing himself.
I disagree.
Well,
No.
yeah, point taken. So for all this complication, like, what is, how's that playing it? Like, is how much prep do you have to do for this? How much, how many notes do you have to take on the side of your script?
What's great, right? Because some of my favorite scenes last year were the scenes between Trisha, Tom, and myself, where you saw that family dynamic. Because you see these 3 otherworldly characters that are basically gods, right? So they think they're above it all. And there's something about having to interact with lowly humans that you see sides of them that are so arrogant, and that usually leads to some incredible comedic moment. One of the things that I love about the dynamic between the brothers is I do agree with you, right? That a lot of the things that Amenadiel harps on Lucifer about, Amenadiel possesses himself. The difference, and this was something that the writers pointed out, is that Amenadiel learns quickly from his mistakes. And so there's something that's amazing about that, because he will do something that's very similar to what Lucifer does, but he, in some strange way, the consequences of his actions really impact him. And even though it tends to knock him back, which as an actor is always exciting to play, to have the rug pulled out from underneath you, the way in which he overcomes that is always exciting to me. I mean, it's a testament to these writers also to continually give me something to overcome, some incredible obstacle. So I do think that's the difference. I think Lucifer doesn't necessarily. I think he learns things, but his arrogance is so huge that it usually, for that character, I think that it's usually something that turns into great comedy. Amenadiel's not the funniest god around. He takes himself a little bit too seriously, which is also fun to play because I think I tend to be a very intense individual. But I think there's something exciting about that, right? Someone who's intense, I think the mistake that we make is, oh, they're super serious. But I also think that someone who's intense, they know how to have fun in a very intense way. They love intensely. It's just that everything that they do is with this intensity that can be overwhelming depending on who's on the receiving end.
So you speak about the writers and the showrunners, but you as an actor playing a celestial being
Right.
that suffers of the fall of the power and all of that, where do you pull personally from to deliver your character?
Wow, that's a deep question. It's a great question. I think it's just, thinking about life experience, right? Things that have happened to you, things that maybe you've had taken away from you, things that you wish you could do over. I think the only difference between me, actors, and people that live where I'm from, people that live a normal life, not to say that actors don't live a normal life, but live a normal life is how we use those things, right? How we use the pain that we have experienced in our life and how we channel that. In some ways, I've been lucky about the childhood that I've had. I had two amazing parents. I have an older brother, younger sister. But also, I just think being a black man, growing up in this country, and in New York, you experience things as a black man in this country that you can use. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Can you describe the season in 3 words?
In 3 words.
One word.
To make it easier.
Redemption.
Oh,
Redemption.
If we could just briefly touch on your previous point, Fox is, in my opinion, definitely setting the example for the other big 3. We have women and minorities in prominent roles in the forefront, and I wanted to know, for you, I'm sure you've had to go through the struggle of getting your face out there and getting these roles. What's it like for you to see this beautiful change and be part of it?
Diversity, being up there.
Diversity is great. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that I'm always going to say. We've been here before, okay? And so part of the reason why I'm sometimes quiet about it is I feel like we go through these periods. I've seen it. I've been doing this now over 20 years. This is the 4th or 5th time where people, this city, pats themselves on the back about how diverse they're being. And then within 2 or 3 years, it kind of falls back to what is the norm. Now, am I happy for what I have been seeing as of late? Absolutely. I think it's fantastic. And I just hope it continues to go in that direction. Out of the 4 big networks, Fox is by far the most diverse network. I would probably say CBS probably lags way behind that. I would encourage them in a loving way to try to come up. But yes, Fox is by far, of the big four networks, the most diverse network. And Fox is the network, Fox, the studios that started my career off. You know, they are the first ones that gave me, at 24 years old, 26 years old, my first job out of school. So I'm always going to have a soft spot in my heart for Fox. I always am. I would just encourage the other networks to invest in diversity, especially behind the scenes. You know, we need more black and brown people and women directing. We need more black and brown people and women writing. That's always where the material is going to come from. We need people who are writers, people who are executives. That's the change that I'm praying for and hoping for, and that's the change that I hope can be consistent.
Yes, thank you.
Getting back to your character, now the third season, how comfortable are you playing this character, and does some of your own personality seep into this character?
Is any of my personality seep into the character? I mean, I suppose so, right? I think it's inevitable, you know, especially if you start playing it over a number of years. Like I said, I tend to be, and I'm sure my cast would agree with this, I tend to be somewhat intense. The scenes that are the heaviest, the most painful, those are the scenes that I really gravitate towards. I think the scenes that are the most comedic are the scenes that are harder for me, not because I don't have a sense of humor, but I think it's because those are the scenes where I feel the most self-conscious, you know? It's easy to throw yourself into something that's intense or serious that has a lot of weight. You just go there, you just send yourself there. I think the scenes that are funny, I mean, the result is someone has to laugh, you know? If they're not laughing, then you failed, you know? I think when you're doing something that's intensely serious or dramatic, some people are gonna, it's open for interpretation. Some people may cry, some people may just sit back, some people may, I mean, so that's easier for me. Now, you probably talk to some actors that love doing comedy that are terrified of the dramatic moments. So it works both ways. I just think it's the way that we're wired. And most of my adult life as an actor has been playing, you know, those characters that tend to be very weighty, very intense. So, you know.